Becky here. Welcome back to my channel. We are here for another Sunday scripture. If you watched last week's Sunday scripture on June 2nd about Pride Month and you have returned, thank you for coming back. I appreciate it. That one was a hard one for me to do. I had a lot that I wanted to say and I cut it down as much as possible without losing the meaning of the message that I hope I conveyed well. Today, I want to bless you for the week and share some scriptures about work. Most of us work outside the home or have worked outside the home at some point, had some sort of job, career, whatever. A lot of people are working from home, a job that helps pay bills or bring in a little bit of extra income. And some of us might not be working a job that pays us, but are still busy with lots of work. We are busy at home working as stay-at-home moms, which is what I am currently doing, but I have worked outside of the home in different jobs over the years. So I'm just going to share with you a few scriptures that I found when I looked up scriptures about work and hope that it blesses you in the week to come. We're going to start in Psalms. So Psalm 90, verse 17, "May the favor of the Lord our God rest on us. Establish the work of our hands for us. Yes, establish the work of our hands." Whatever it is that we are doing, we can give it all to God. Even if you are in a job or career you are not liking right now, we can still do it in honor and glory of God and pray for better work circumstances, a better job, a change in career, whatever it may be. Whatever's on your heart, bring it to God. Whatever it is that you are working at today, tomorrow, right in this moment, may God establish the work you are doing. So we are going to go to Proverbs 12, verse 11. "Those who work their land will have abundant food, but those who chase fantasies have no sense." And Proverbs 13:4, "A sluggard's appetite is never filled, but the desires of the diligent are fully satisfied." So these verses are talking about our work ethic and that those who work will have abundance. This one is a bit of a hard one because I know there are people out there who are working very hard and don't have a lot to show for it. At best, they are living paycheck to paycheck and are not feeling very rich. Or they are unable to work due to circumstances outside of their control, and they are living on some kind of government assistance and food bank and things like that. And that's a very difficult thing, and I want to acknowledge that and be empathetic towards that and sensitive about that. These proverbs are talking about work ethic, and like those who work their land will have abundant food. So especially in this time, most people were farming their own food and harvesting the wheat and taking care of the sheep and whatever animals they may have had that they used for their livelihood or for food, and the crops that they grew and everything like that. And the Bible talks a lot about sowing, reaping, gardening, harvesting, farming, things like that. But those who work their land will have abundant food because they are not being lazy. They're not relying on other people to take care of them when they can take care of themselves. They're working the land that is going to provide them the food and even income for the year. And those who chase fantasies have no sense. So to me, that is, in today's culture, in the context of the 21st century, for me, chasing fantasies would be, I'm just going to win the lottery. And I buy my Lotto 649 ticket every week. I don't play lottery, so I don't know exactly how it goes. But if I'm putting all my hopes and dreams and stakes on winning the lottery, I'm not going to get very far. I'm not going to make it rich that way. These get rich quick schemes kind of thing. We need to be diligent in our work. Do the job that you are given. And if you are working towards having a better job or doing your dream career or whatever, owning a business of your own, be diligent in that as well while you work the job that you have. And then I just had one more in Colossians. We're going to go over to the New Testament here. One of these days I will learn the books of the Bible. I have the little tabs that you put on the sides. I haven't decided if I want to put them on yet. It's easier to put them on than it is to take them off. Colossians. So I'm going to read Colossians 3, verses 22 to 25. The wording in this isn't exactly PC for today's culture, but I'm just going to read it and we'll go from there. Slaves, obey your earthly masters in everything, and do it not only when their eye is on you and to curry their favor, but with sincerity of heart and reverence for the Lord. Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart as working for the Lord, not for human masters, since you know that you will receive an inheritance from the Lord as a reward. It is the Lord Christ you are serving. Anyone who does wrong will be repaid for their wrongs, and there is no favoritism. And then ending that little section of scripture is chapter 4, verse 1. Masters, provide your slaves with what is right and fair, because you know that you also have a master in heaven. So, like I was saying, the language is a little hard nowadays to swallow. Back then, it was common for them to have slaves. In today's context, in the context of speaking about doing your job, we can replace the word slave with employee, with worker, and then masters would be the bosses. So, slaves, obey your earthly masters in everything, and do it not only when their eye is on you and you curry their favor, but with sincerity of heart and reverence for the Lord. So for me, that means that you are doing the job that the boss has given you, but it's very easy and common, and I fall into this as well. When the boss isn't around, when no one's looking kind of thing, you can slack off a little bit. That is not honoring to God, who expects you to be honest and to work diligently. So even when your boss's eyes are not on you and you can get away with being a little bit more lazy, slacking off, whatever it is, you have to keep in mind as a Christian that God is watching what you are doing, and He will reward you for the work that you do in secret, that no one else sees. This does not mean that you should accept horrible working conditions, of course, or like an unsafe work environment. You have a right to refuse unsafe work. Here in Canada, anyways, you can. That doesn't mean you should not be fairly compensated for the job that you are doing. And that doesn't mean that you should be worked to the bone and never get a break either. It's saying do not just do your work when they're watching you, but you are entitled to having breaks and proper time off and sick leave and personal days and stuff like that. Of course, you are entitled to those things. This is just talking about, you're working your Monday to Friday, 9 to 5 kind of job, and you are entitled to a break and everything. But when you're on the clock and you are working. Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart as working for the Lord, not for human masters. Ultimately, our master is Jesus, and that's who we are working to please and glorify and honor God. Since you know that you will receive an inheritance from the Lord as a reward, it is the Lord Christ you are serving. Anyone who does wrong will be repaid for their wrongs, and there is no favoritism. I was saying that you have a right to have fair compensation for your work, and you have a right to have breaks, and you have a right to a safe work environment, a healthy work environment, a non-toxic work environment, toxic chemically and toxic mentally. Unfortunately, that is not always the case. That is not always the circumstances. Sometimes you are stuck in a job that is not the best, and you feel stuck there because you need the money and there's no other job lined up for you, right? You're kind of stuck in these circumstances. Or you have a situation, maybe you are self-employed and you do things like my husband is an electrician and he could go into someone's house and help set up some lighting, some fixtures, some electricity stuff, and gets gypped on the job and isn't paid enough, or they don't like his work so they refuse to pay him or whatever. And assuming my husband is an honest worker and did his job the way he said he would do it, he quoted them this price, it comes in at that quote or under even, and he's getting gypped by these people. They are wronging him. As Christians, we need to bring that to God. And there may be cases where you need to pursue some kind of legal action, but we can always trust that God will compensate us. That loss, that money that is owed to us rightfully, that was stolen basically by them refusing to pay us for the work that we did, we can trust that God is going to make that right and bring us justice in that situation. And maybe that reward will be shown in heaven, but I'd rather be rewarded in heaven for all of eternity, have this amazing reward, than just a temporary couple $100 in my pocket or whatever would be owed to me for the job, right? And then it even goes on into chapter 4 saying, masters, provide your slaves with what is right and fair, because you know that you also have a master in heaven. So the one writing this, I'm just going to assume like every letter in the Bible is written by Paul unless I know better. here. Yes, Paul, writing to the Colossian church, he is speaking to the slaves or the employees as well as those that are in charge, the employers, the masters of the household kind of thing, the ones providing the job. He's saying treat your employees right. Give them what is fair. Give them what is owed to them, what is right and fair, because God is watching you too. But God looks to us. And if your boss is being bad to you and is mistreating you, I would encourage you to try and get out of that situation, of course, and try and find another job or whatever, or pray that that boss leaves and you get a new boss, whatever the case may be. But God is looking to see how you react to the situation and how you handle your boss and your co-workers and the whole situation. And are you still honoring God through all of the junk that you are dealing with at work? And God is looking to your boss and holding him accountable for what he does. And God holds you accountable for what you do. I talked a lot more than I was planning to talk in this. I was just planning to read the scriptures, but I hope this is a blessing to you. I hope this is something that you can take into your week and into your career. If you're a stay-at-home mom like me, our true master is Jesus, and we work for him ultimately. So whatever it is that you do for work, do it for the Lord. Go into this week blessed. Thank you for being here and watching these videos, and I will see you next Sunday with another scripture for Father's Day. Thank you for watching. God bless you. Bye.